that you can fly around in. It's a lot bigger than the space for the infantry, so there's a lot of room for maneuvering and all that. So that's great. You can fly really high as well, vertically, but then you hit a certain point, and then it's almost as if it enables like some kind of switch that just turns the jet off, and then it just starts to like fall, and then you turn it on again, and you just speed away. Like there's a certain height that you can reach, and then you can't go any further, and then it's almost as if you're in slow motion, and you just move uber slowly. And I think that's like some kind of, I don't know what that is. That's like a fail-safe device that you don't fly too high, or like I'm not saying that there's a fail-safe device in the plane. Like I get why they install that, that roof, that limit to how far you can fly up, but like, what, just never mind. there's a limit to how high you can fly. That's basically what I'm just trying to say. And yeah, landing is alright, it works. Shooting people on the ground is incredibly hard. They didn't allow people to adjust the mouse sensitivity for any vehicle, so if you're going to use a mouse and fly a plane, much luck, and I hope you're better than me with it, because I just fly with the main keys, the main arrow buttons. I just fly with those, and then when I end up in a dogfight, I switch to the mouse for more precision. But still, I've ended up in a couple of dogfights, and as in 1942, I suck balls. They shot me down. If not the planes, then the Stinger missiles. And it just feels like the air vehicles are so gimped that there's really no incentive for you to go into the sky. There really isn't. Like I don't see the point. Like it takes 1,000,000 bullets to shoot down a tank, another airplane, a helicopter. Like I just don't. I don't know. I just missed. But I don't know. Maybe this is a thing that I don't understand, because as I've said, I'm not a good pilot at all. I suck. I'm terrible at it. But yeah, that's basically what I have to say about jets. Is there anything else? Just quickly. Hablurg, 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 hablurg. I think that's it. Screw it. That's it. Now for the helis. Basically, how they handle. I'm a guy who's been flying helicopters. I've been piloting choppers since 1942's mod Desert Combat, and just the difficulty of how to maneuver a chopper there, just that intrigued me. Like I really loved that it was so hard, and it was so hard to do anything really, and that just made me keep coming back to just flying a helicopter. And I kept flying in Desert Combat. I flew Black Hawk helicopters in Battlefield 2, just picking people off, dropping them off, just just hovering in the sky, just circling the area. Then when they said, hey man, we need a lift back to the other base they're trying to capture, and then I just fly down, pick them up again, and drop them off at the other base. That's basically what I did. That's how much I loved flying helicopters. They dumbed down helicopters incredibly much in Bad Company 2. They dumbed them down even more when an update came and just made them fucking just boring, just plain uninspiring piece of shit, just dull, horrible in general, just too easy, but yet just there's no feel to it. It doesn't feel like you're in a helicopter. It feels like you're in some kind of like a car that just happens to be suspended in air. That's basically it. Like it's ridiculous. And I was reading a couple of comments saying that it's basically the same thing in Battlefield 3, and they weren't lying. It is. I guess this is where, like, I would consider myself as a veteran flyer, as a veteran pilot when it comes to helicopters, both transport and attack helicopters. I prefer transport, but I would say that I fly them equally well. And I was mortified. Fuck, like this is, I guess this is where, you know, jets, this is where the contrast comes, where I'm a chopper veteran, and I think I can kind of give a reasonable, sound and intelligent opinion about how shitty they are, in the same way as veteran jet pilots can say how shitty the jets have become. So yeah, you see, once again, my ignorance is why I kind of like the jets in Battlefield 3. But my or not intelligence, but my experiences with the awesome flying, the awesome feel of the helicopters in previous games have made this one just seem very underwhelming. The helicopters feel so, well, the same as Bad Company 2, just unintuitive, boring, uninspiring, dull. There's just something very sluggish with them this time. When I move my mouse around, I'm not moving the nose of the helicopter anymore. I'm just kind of moving the entire chopper. They seem to have changed that a little. And when I want to turn, I use the AD buttons to turn, but it kind of turns very slowly, but it's still, like, I don't know. For me, Battlefield 2 choppers and Desert Combat choppers just flew phenomenally. Bad Company 2, just before that horrible patch came, they were fine. You know, they weren't really, they didn't have the same feel as previous games, previous Battlefield games. But you know, I still liked them. I still flew a lot of choppers in Bad Company 2. As long as, you know, as we all know, Bad Company community, or the Battlefield community in general, isn't exactly the most team play oriented community. So when I go to take a chopper, I'm like, yeah, I need a gunner, people, and nobody comes. And sometimes I write, you know, hey, I need a gunner, and then somebody comes and shoots me, takes the chopper, flies to a base, and then crashes the chopper, takes his parachute, and lands. Like, why do that? Like, but yeah, that doesn't have so much with, you know, the feel of the choppers to do. I noticed that. I'm aware. But my point is that, what is my point? What the fuck was I talking about? I was talking about choppers being equally dull here. I guess that maybe I just have to fly jets a lot more and fly helicopters a lot more to just, you know, get the feel. I guess it's all just a very it's a matter of you know, just adjusting your experience and adjusting your expectations to Battlefield 3 standards, and just, you know, getting used to the new mechanics and everything. But you know, this is just, you know, kind of my second impression. I mean, I haven't been flying that much. I've been flying choppers a couple of times, jets a couple of more, because you know, I'm really intrigued to maybe actually become good, because I've always sucked as a jet pilot. So, you know, I've been flying a little more. But I don't know. Jets are alright. The choppers, however, they just feel useless. And I don't understand why they did this, because, and it's the same thing with the specs to the chopper. They're paper choppers. I guess, if you could even say that. I mean, they're pointless. There's no point, and there's no incentive to using a chopper other than transporting yourself faster to another base. My whole philosophy, like, do you remember when you were playing Battlefield 1942 or Battlefield 2? Like, when you saw a vehicle, whether it was a tank, some kind of howitzer, or chopper, or jet, like, when you saw those things, at least for me, when I saw those things, I went and hid. Like, I just hid somewhere. I just went and hid somewhere where nobody can find, not even infantry. Like, screw bushes. Like, I'm gonna find a garage and just hide there. Like, there's something about, like, when you hear the enemy choppers coming, like, I'm just so scared, and I just hide. I'm just, like, thinking to myself, like, there's a suspense in the air, you know. I'm thinking, just please do not see me. Just do not see me. Just fly over me. Just pass me by. Just find a tank to fuck up or something. Just leave me alone. I'm just a measly infantry dude. just leave me alone. And then they pass, and there's that sigh of relief. You're like, ah, yes, please. I don't have to waste another 12 seconds of my life fucking waiting for a respawn, waiting to respawn. And then you're like, ah, yes. And then you just fuck off and continue doing. And that fear, that suspense when you see enemy at least enemy aircraft, is non-existent. It just doesn't exist. When I see a chopper, I have a friend who constantly plays as an engineer. I'm like, oh, look, there's a free kill for you. And when I see I guess it makes sense when, I mean, an airplane can't exactly, distinguish a foot soldier on the ground. It's kind of hard, but you know what I'm saying. Like, when I see a plane, I'm like, oh, look, a fly. Anybody wants to swap that thing? And like, I don't understand. Like, if you're like, my friend plays as an engineer, as I said, and like, if he's walking around, he's like shooting infantry and shit, and then he suddenly hears or sees an enemy aircraft, and instead of feeling dread, he feels excitement. He feels a sense of pleasure, because he's not thinking, holy shit, enemy aircraft, I gotta hide, I gotta call for support, I gotta go find some backup or something. I'm gonna get my ass nailed to the wall. Instead of thinking that, he's just thinking, oh, look, a free kill. I mean, in my opinion, you failed to design the vehicles properly if those vehicles don't invoke some kind of fear or some kind of dread or whatever, some kind of, just, I don't know. When engineers start thinking, look, free kills rather than being afraid, I don't know, you just fucked up with your design philosophy. That's my opinion. They're just pointless to me, and I don't like that. I've always thought that, vehicles, when you see a tank, you should be shitting your pants. And I've always shit my pants when I see vehicles. And ever since 1942, I did it in Battlefield 2, I did it in Bad Company 2, I did it in Battlefield Vietnam, I'm doing it now in Battlefield 3. When I see a tank, I'm like, hide, fucking hide. That's nice that tanks still can invoke some kind of fear in me. When I see choppers, when I see planes, I'm like, meh. Not my problem. They're not gonna mind me. And I don't know. I really don't like that. I think that as soon as a tank sees or infantry, a tank or infantry sees a chopper, they should be just spamming the chat and asking the choppers, the friendly oh my god, the friendly jets. There we go. Fuck, the friendly jets to come and just shoot it down quickly, or something like that. But at the moment, I don't know, they just feel pointless. They're just weak, underpowered pieces of shit. And that makes me sad, because I was looking forward to flying. I don't know, transport choppers are really present in the game. I hope they are. If not, I'm gonna be a little sad about that, because I really enjoy flying Blackhawks and Hinds. I know that the Kasatka is gonna be there. I wonder if that's gonna be a transport chopper, or if it's, I'm not sure. But yeah, the K-90, is that what it's called? K-90 Kasatka? A Russian chopper? I don't know. It's pretty cool that's featured in the game. It was also featured in Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. The Solid Snake's like, the Russian Kasatka. I really like when he said that. Like, holy shit, that's a chopper. But yeah, the air vehicles just feel weak, and I filled the whole video with just talking about the air. Like, I was gonna talk. Well, all right, I guess I'll just have to make another video about those, about the design of the maps and the balance of the maps and the map. Since we're talking about Caspian border. But yeah, I'll just conclude this here. The air vehicles are just very underwhelming and very underpowered. I really hope the DICE fixes that, because at the moment there's just no incentive to use the air vehicles other than transporting yourself to another base a little quicker.